$8,000 in 7 days, from a digital product that took maybe 40 hours to build. And here's what made me stop scrolling when I first saw this case study. The person who pulled this off wasn't working 80-hour weeks. They weren't grinding through endless client calls. They were working 25 hours a week while simultaneously serving 12 clients. And I thought, okay, either this is complete nonsense, or I've been thinking about AI tools completely wrong. So I spent the last 3 weeks pulling this strategy apart, talking to people running similar models, testing the specific workflow they used. And what I found isn't just about making money with AI. It's about a fundamental shift in how solo operators are pricing their time, and why the people who figure this out now are going to be almost impossible to compete with in 3 years. Welcome back to Zero Index. Let's get into exactly how this worked, because the details matter more than you'd think. So the first thing that jumped out at me when I dug into this case study was that this person wasn't using one AI tool. They were using 4, and each one had a specific job. Perplexity handled real-time web searches and fact-checking. ChatGPT did the rapid content generation, the first draft work. Claude refined the quality and caught the rough edges. And Gemini handled the Google Workspace integration, the scheduling, the document management, the stuff that just needs to work in the background. And here's the thing nobody talks about, most people I know who use AI tools are loyal to one. They're ChatGPT people or they're Claude people. And that loyalty is actually costing them money. Because each of these models has genuine strengths and genuine weaknesses. ChatGPT is fast and creative but it hallucinates confidently. Claude is more careful with nuance but sometimes overhedges. Perplexity is incredible for research but you wouldn't use it to write an email sequence. The strategic insight here is treating these tools like a team where each person has a role. You wouldn't hire one employee and ask them to do sales, operations, quality control, and client management. So why would you expect one AI model to handle every task equally well? What this means for you practically is that the 10 minutes you spend learning a second or third tool isn't wasted time. It's the difference between output that feels generic and output that actually holds up under scrutiny. Now here's where it gets interesting. This strategist was billing $150 an hour, which sounds great until you do the math on how many hours you can actually bill in a week while also doing sales, admin, and all the invisible work of running a business. The ceiling was always there. The shift was moving from hourly billing to value-based pricing. Instead of charging for 6 hours of work at $150 an hour, which is $900, they started charging $3,500 a month for a specific set of deliverables. Same 6 hours of actual work. Nearly 4 times the revenue. And I want to be honest with you about something, this only works if the deliverables are genuinely valuable. You can't just rename your hourly work as a package and charge more. The AI tools made it possible to deliver legitimately better work in less time. The value to the client didn't go down just because the hours went down. If anything, faster turnaround made it more valuable. The question nobody's asking is, why do we still price knowledge work by the hour when the tools that do that work are getting exponentially faster? The people who figure out how to price on outcomes instead of inputs are going to capture most of the margin in consulting and freelancing over the next few years. Most people stop here, which is a mistake. Because having a great service and a good pricing model means nothing if you don't have clients. And this person started with 0 clients, 0 case studies, 0 credibility. Here's what they actually did in the first 30 days. They identified a specific niche, which in this case was AI implementation for small marketing agencies. They offered 3 initial clients a heavily discounted rate in exchange for detailed testimonials and case study rights. And they did the work at essentially cost, treating those first clients as an investment in proof. For the first 60 days, they told me getting clients was exhausting. Cold outreach, DMs, following up with people who ghosted. It was grinding. But then something shifted. They started posting on LinkedIn every single day. Not polished thought leadership. Not viral bait. Just real observations about what they were learning working with these early clients. Within a few months, they were getting 5 to 10 inbound inquiries monthly without any cold outreach at all. And the math on that is wild when you think about it. If you close even 20% of 10 inbound leads, that's 2 new clients a month without spending any time on sales calls with people who were never going to buy anyway. What this means for you is that the first 2 months are going to feel like you're shouting into the void. But the distribution you build during that period compounds in ways that cold outreach never will. Now here's where I have to give you the warning that almost sank this whole business. Early on, this strategist got lazy. They took raw ChatGPT output, sent it directly to a client, and there were 3 factual errors in the piece. 3 errors that the client caught. The relationship almost ended right there. And this is the trap I see so many people falling into. AI makes it so easy to produce volume that you start skipping the refinement step. But here's the thing, your client isn't paying for AI output. They're paying for your judgment applied to AI output. The moment you become just a pass-through for what ChatGPT generates, you become replaceable by anyone who can type a prompt. The workflow that saved this business was simple. Draft with ChatGPT, refine with Claude, fact-check with Perplexity, then manual review before anything goes to a client. That last step, the manual review, is where you earn your fee. It's where you catch the confident hallucination, the slightly wrong tone, the claim that technically could be true but isn't quite right for this specific audience. So what does this mean for you? Never send first draft AI output to anyone you want to keep as a client. The refinement step isn't optional. It's the entire product. So we've got 12 clients at $3,500 a month. That's $42,000 in monthly recurring revenue, but they're billing around $30,000 because some clients are on different tiers. Still, this is working. But here's where the $8,000 week comes in. After running this model for about a year, the strategist had developed a specific system. A documented workflow for how to run an AI-powered consultancy. Client intake process, tool stack configuration, quality control checklists, pricing templates, everything. They packaged that system into a digital product. And because they've been posting on LinkedIn for months, they had an audience. When they launched, they did $8,000 in the first week. And the question nobody's asking is, why didn't they do this sooner? The answer is they couldn't have. The product only worked because it was built on real experience with real clients. The audience only existed because they'd been showing their work publicly. The trust only existed because people had watched them operate for months. This is the part that can't be skipped. The digital product revenue didn't come from nowhere. It came from 12 months of building credibility, then monetizing that credibility in a different format. Here's the forward-looking piece that I think matters most. The strategist made an observation that stuck with me. AI operators who build systems, distribution, and reputation now, they're going to dominate by 2029 and 2030. The people who wait until the tools are quote-unquote ready are going to find themselves competing against people who have 3 or 4 years of compounding advantage. The tools are only going to get better. Which means the gap between people who know how to use them strategically and people who are still figuring out their first prompt, that gap is going to widen every single month. Look, I don't know if this exact strategy will work for you. Your niche might be different. Your starting point might be different. But the underlying logic, using multiple AI tools strategically, pricing on value instead of hours, building distribution through consistent content, then monetizing the system once it's proven, that logic transfers to almost any knowledge work business. The question is whether you start building that now or wait until everyone else has already figured it out. If this was useful, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.